And Dave said, come on, boys, to our dogs, come on, boys, let's go outside. The buses should have passed. Just bawl. I bawled. And I was in the bedroom and he's out in the family room. As soon as he said that, and I had a terrible day. I went to a doctor just check up. My blood pressure was high, my sugar. And she said, this is grieving. And I said, I don't miss it, but I miss my people. And that first day, those babies.
We should have got on the bus and rode around with
No
them.
way.
Make you feel better.
No way.
The bus is coming by our house later this year.
I didn't expect to cry though. I didn't. But 32 years doing the same thing. How many years have you been doing the spanking thing?
Too long.
I need a number. I asked for a number.
I've been in banking since '86.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
was in retail from 1980 to '86. And the reason why I went in retail, Dad always said, don't go in banking. There's no money in it. So I went into retail. Money was good, but they made you work 80 hours a week, so the money wasn't as good.
Mm-hmm.
Time you average it out.
Yeah.
Retail's awesome for the customers.
Well, I worked for Osco Drug, so,
School's
up in
awesome for the
Indianapolis,
same.
the back room was about as high as that, beer was high as that in May and that. Made 10 cents on a case,
Okay.
trying to get people in the store and pick up something
Okay.
else.
Tongue in cheek.
So beer is the same as what oil is.
I'm proud of you
make
for
about
getting that
26
vest
a quart
and
off.
stuff. I know.
20 to 26
That
cents.
heavier vest.
We made more money off the bag of ice than we did the case of beer.
I'm proud of you.
Napa's theory on that
That's
is oil is
awesome.
just
I
to
need
get
to
people
do it,
go,
but-
they'll buy other things.
So
What
is
if they
it,
come in and only buy oil?
are you dieting too?
But that's back when the 500 was the entire month of May, and there was
but
always something
sometimes
going on at
that's-
the track. It was really big.
Yeah, I know. See, I won't,
It's
I won't,
crazy what
I won't
we did.
change my.
I'm glad I'm out of it, got transferred to many different places.
But now that I've been doing this other job and I'm working nights and weekends
Nah.
on.
Oh, the beer?
All the
Well, I
time.
mean, like,
But tonight I didn't eat. I'm
Oh,
really not hungry.
no,
I'll
I
go home
worked
and
at
eat
a store in
something.
Terre
But I
Haute
won't
when I
eat
graduated
as
from
much.
college.
And since I
Worked
had
at
my tooth
3
surgery,
stores in
the
Indy.
first week I gained weight because I was only
Two
eating
in
ice cream and
Evansville, and
pudding.
then they were going, maybe in Little Rock, Arkansas
Now I
Monday. That's
can't
enough.
chew as well, and it'll get better.
And they
But
always let you
now-
know on a
so I
Friday that you had to be there
eat
Monday.
slowly. I
You
swear
hope to
gosh,
God it
that
wasn't your
Has
weekend
helped
work.
my energy, has helped. Yes, yes, and I haven't lost, I've lost 2 pounds.
Felt like a
but-
professional stock boy.
And I'm not changing my eating because I've decided I don't want to, which is terrible, but I don't want to do it. So, but I'm proud of you.
I'll be proud of myself when I get up to 30.
I'm proud of you, you've already, that's what. It's a big deal. Uh-oh, my phone's on, I know it is. I'm done
We
with
got a couple minutes to spare. Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm just gonna sit like that. Don't let me get up. All right. Put you up to do the presentation. You'll be okay. Huh? No, we don't. It's August. A friend of ours and we have tried to go on for 3 weeks. Every time we try. It's either really, like a chance of. Yeah, we will. Uh-huh. Yep, the corn. Some of the corn's been harvested already, but not all, not the farmer corn hasn't been harvested.
Okay, I have 5:30.
Pledge.
Yeah, we can do that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We could have roll call.
Yeah, welcome everyone to the regular town council meeting. Jason Little. Patricia Ball.
Here.
Kevin Burke.
Here.
Seth Wendell is absent. Brian Moore.
Here.
Okay, the first thing we have on the agenda now is the minutes from the July 10th regular town meeting. Everybody have a chance to look at them?
Make a motion to approve the regular minutes for the 7/10/2023 council meeting.
Okay, I have a first. Do we have a second?
We'll have to-
Second.
Okay, I have a first and second. All those in favor say yes, and all those opposed say nay.
Yes.
That
We
works
also have
too.
minutes from the special budget meeting that we had on July 24th,
Okay,
the budget workshop.
that was on July 24th.
Yes.
Okay, if we could entertain a motion for that too.
Make a motion to approve the special meeting minutes for budget on July 24th, 2023.
I have a first.
Second.
I have a second. If there's no comments, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Let it be known that does pass.
Did you get me down as an abstain? I abstained from the vote for the minutes for 7:10 due to me not being here.
I didn't catch that either. Okay. Next thing we have is comments from the floor. The first person I have on the agenda is Randy Bain. If you'd like to speak, if you could go up to the microphone, Randy, appreciate it.
Appreciate you all having me and taking time. I'm actually recently moved down here into the village. And resident of DuBois County for a lot of years, had an opportunity to move down here and love the area, and that's what brought us down here. I'm also a developer, so I buy a lot of properties and clear them up, fix them up, and build homes, just kind of help build and establish communities. I've done some in Spencer County, done some in DuBois County. That's my primary focus. I am someone retired, so this is my hobby. One of my questions I have is that one of the lots I have is actually in the village. It's on Milk Bar. So if you come in the back Casper gate, follow all the way up, comes to the T, Milk Bar, turn left, and go down that straight stretch down through there. There's a wooded area. When you first turn, you go down there, and it opens up to some 2 lots. And then there's a few houses right down through there. The first house is called Milk Bar Lot 14. And with that, and I didn't know how many papers I need to draw up, but I do have some papers here. I purchased this lot through my company back in 2021, I believe is when I purchased it. And at that time, this house had been sitting vacant for quite a while. We purchased it 7/21 of 2021. That's when I purchased my lot adjacent to it. And the way this is set up in pink is the lot in question. So when you come down Milk Bar, you have the wooded area, you have open field, and then it gets into, there's 2 really open fields right there, the lots. And this house in particular has been sitting empty, vacant, it's really run down. Here lately, it has a torque on the roof. The back porch, you can see it doesn't even have any steps or anything. I asked Chris Holmes down in the village about it, and he says it actually has to be addressed to the town. So that's what brought me up here. I just need to know if there's any intentions, if it's condemned, and kind of what's going on with it. I followed this house for a little while. I understand it went to the sheriff's sale, and they had like basically a year, they couldn't do anything with it. Well, it's that year in my terminology has come and gone according to the dates. It appears that it had changed hands again possibly, because the dates changed again on the deed, on the title work. So I just wanted to see if anybody knew about it, if there's anything that the county could help move this forward.
Well,
Todd, you have any comments?
I have addressed that in the past and chased the people down
Yes.
to secure the place. Because the back door was open, there was a broken window, and they've done that to my knowledge. I mean, the last time I've been through there. And then they got electric hooked up so they could, give some attention to, at least looking at it and see what it needed. And the last I talked to the people, was some company, I think in Iowa, who owned it, some other state, but they had a potential buyer, and that's all I've heard. So, that, I don't know what's going on now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this even predates Todd. I mean, it was addressed back when Phil was the building inspector. I think they had to cut off the electric and tear off that deck at the time. This has been, gosh, 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. But I think at that time, the inspection was that structurally the house is fine, which that's what the town deals with, is safety and whether it's gonna fall down or not. We don't deal with aesthetics.
Okay.
And I agree with that same, I mean, it poses no immediate danger as far, as long as it's secure. Of course, we'd like to see something done with it, but I don't know how you force that or enforce that. It's not an unsafe building per se.
And that's basically how we address things, if they're unsafe.
Have you noticed something about it you think is unsafe as
Yes,
far as
please.
structurally?
If you go to the home itself, there's been times when the windows have fallen out. They do have a window boarded up again now. But if you look at the one door on the back, it has
Yeah.
a fairly new door that's put on, but the other door is a wooden door, and it's still not secure. So, I mean, it's just, I guess anything could be secure, but it's definitely not, I don't know about electricity. I was down there again today, but I'll double check on electricity.
Well, and trying to think of the company, I think it was Wire Electric, went down to check and see whether or not he thought the electrical was safe, to tell those people, that owned it. And, he said it looked okay to him, but you can't tell what's behind the wall either, so.
Well, one of the photos I believe I have in the packet, I shot it through the window, and you can actually see the holes in the wall and the hot water heater. I mean, if this light home is livable or even usable in any means, then one person values another person riches.
Well, they were looking for a buyer. I mean, if you're in.
$80,000, I did check into it.
Okay,
The amount I was given was $80,000, which is,
yeah. I mean, I don't, I'm open to suggestions.
I know we've been messing with this here for a long time.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just not, when do we call it quits, and that's been brought back up to here, because it's very difficult for me to sell the lots beside it, or anybody down through there with its own. And it also reflects back on the village, which that brought us up to here, because the village is in the same situation. I guess it falls into zoning and building codes, and it's something that the village itself inside it does not deal with.
Christmas Lake can enforce aesthetics under the covenant.
It's like, who's taking care of the yard and stuff? I mean, is it?
Christmas Lake can.
We've
enforce-
actually, next maintenance has actually been mowing the yard several different times. I help them maintenance.
Christmas Lake can enforce aesthetics.
I brought this up at our meeting last week.
Yeah. The town cannot.
Not as far as the cost, but as far as the grass and
The
all that.
appearance of the structure even. I mean, they have the right under their architectural rules.
So is that something you're willing to send down to either myself?
Well, it's up to Christmas Lake.
It's
And they know,
the
they know
codes
that.
and restrictions, because they can't board up a house. If a window's broke, it can be boarded for so long, but it has to be replaced with glass, because I was on that covenants and restriction board, and it's in there that says you can't board with, for a short term you can, but that's been like that for probably 3 months, I
Oh,
would
easy.
think.
Oh, a
Yeah.
long time.
And just like now, the roof has got a blue tarp on it.
Yeah.
you know, I'm just asking if there's anything we can do, because it never goes anywhere, this whole home, you know.
The only thing we can do is ask, can we ask Todd to go down and look at it again and give us
Yeah, I mean,
his opinion?
But legally, the town can only enforce safety and structural integrity of the structure. The village, under their covenants, can enforce aesthetics and architectural issues. They can tell you you can't make your front door a certain color, technically, under the rule.
So is architectural and structural included in a door that is made of, is just wood boards and not securely attached?
You know, as long as it's boarded, they don't even have to have a door, they can just board up the hole. Because that's one of the
For
things.
so, only for so long.
But only,
Not under unsafe building, as long as it keeps vermin and everything out, then it can sit vacant for 100 years, boarded up, and the town, under the unsafe building, cannot do anything, as long as structurally it's okay, and as long as it's secure against intrusion by vermin.
So then it's kind of your thoughts are that this is more of a cosmetic, possible issue.
Well, I mean, like I said,
Just
it was inspected even prior to Todd becoming our building inspector, it was years ago, it's at least 10, 12 years ago probably, that it was, that's when they had to tear off the deck and secure it the first time, I think. And I think, if my recollection is correct, Christmas Lake is the one who came to us and asked the town to do it. And we told them that was the limits of what the town's legal authority to do with regard to this is, but the village didn't want to bear the burden of enforcing their covenants.
so I can get you a copy of the covenants unless you can go online and find it. Okay, good. And then see what you find out. He said,
Yes, you know, because I agree if everybody's, you know, been 10 years, or, you know, been, so just, I'm gonna bring it to somebody's attention, see if we can move forward, because it doesn't.
Understand, yeah.
yeah, see where you get with them again, once you pull that.
All right, appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
Todd, if you're in the area, just drive by and just take a look at it and see if we should be doing something else as a town. You have any, James? Okay. Kelly, you? Okay.
I know, that's what needs to happen.
Next, we have John Paul St. Clair. Is he here? Okay. Okay. Since he's not here, we're going to move on to the next item. Next item is comments from the president, and a couple things I'd like to run with everybody. Last month, we had the lady come in and sign these books, and she released these books for sale here at the Santa Claus Museum, and she was a wonderful person to talk to. She was going from here, I think, to Washington DC, and then she had another place, New York City, and some others where she's releasing the books. I did ask her to sign them to the citizens of the town. If anybody wants to look at it, they will be on display up here at the clerk's treasurer's office. The other thing, go ahead.
Can I make a comment?
Uh-huh.
I should have had my hand up sooner for the comments from the floor.
Okay.
Sorry. My name is Chuck Bosco, and I'm representing the Southwest Indiana Citizens for Quality of Life. And as most of you all know, that the August 1st, I again revoked the air permit, or the construction permit from Riverview Energy because of the lack of progress. And they still have till the 18th to make any comments or possible contacting them, but we don't anticipate anything happening. And but anyway, I just want to, our officers couldn't make it today. I don't know if they thought it was going to be raining or not. But anyway, we'd just like to thank you for allowing us to bring our case in front of the board individually and collectively as we've been going through this. They came into Spencer County 6 years ago this fall when it all started, and the group was organized that next January, February. But anyway, so it's been a long haul. We appreciate you hearing us out and all the information and background information and knowledge that we had, not only of the project, but of the individuals involved in it. And just like to thank you all for the support that whether it was official or not official, against this project.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you bringing
Thank you.
it up, and I also want to thank your group and that for bringing all the information about so people can make a decision. Hopefully, it will continue, you know, like we hope it will. And I want to thank your people and your various agencies that you wrote to in support doing away with it. So, thank you. The next thing I wanted to bring up is I received a email today. I forwarded on to James this morning. We had an email from a customer or citizen that came into the area and stayed the weekend. Apparently, he was wanting to leave Holiday World and after the weekend of camping, and he locked his keys in his car. So Officer Bone was responded to it and got the vehicle open and got the people on their way. So want to appreciate your staff for being courteous with the people coming into the community and making them feel like we're in the land of Santa Claus.
Every day's a holiday.
Every day.
So that's all I have for the present, so we can go on to the fire department.
You've got my monthly report for the month of July. We had 22 first responder runs, and 6 firefighter alarms, 1 fuel spill, and 1 disregard for a total of 30 runs. I did start having vendors come in for the SCBA compressor. I hope to go out for bid October 9th. And this Saturday is Touch a Truck Day down at the park. We'll have fire trucks down there, helicopters, and neighboring fire departments are gonna bring their trucks. So we'll be down there from 10 to 1, so got some giveaways.
And that's this Saturday,
Yep,
Excellent.
weather permitting, or,
I hope.
Okay.
Exactly.
okay.
He's on that board, so. That's all I have, unless anybody else has anything.
Don't have anything, anybody else? Okay. Zach?
You have my monthly report. As far as the community center is concerned, still pretty steady on the memberships. I would venture to say we'll have a little blip here this month with the students going back to school. But then we should start to pick back up toward the end of October, early November. As far as the projects, we did complete our last tournament of the summer, the 4th weekend in July, I believe it was. Still haven't got all the information back on that yet, or haven't looked through it. As far as new projects, we're getting ready for fall sports. I believe middle school soccer has started, and then football and rec league will be starting in short order. Just a myriad of projects working on the park, installing some more security cameras, still trying to squeeze in the resurfacing the basketball court this fall, and then just some light replacement of the community center as well as good, small cosmetic things. As far as items for you all, I do have 2 requests, nothing to be done this evening, but just to get the ball rolling. We continue to have an issue with our bank credit card limit. Basically, I try to utilize that for small repairs, things in the weight room, the cardio room, things that are difficult to come by at a hardware store or Home Depot. And on occasion, we run into issues where, like last month, we had an older sewer pump that needed to be replaced. And so I went to Menards to get that pump because I liked that style of flow. I needed it right away. So by the time you get some repair parts, get that, you know, you're looking at $800-900, where our credit limit is only $1,500. And then, you know, we're trying to implement this new system in the community center with some extra hardware and things, trying to repair a few machines or buy repair parts. And before you know it, you're up against your credit limit and you're having to call the bank trying to figure out when payments are gonna process, when you can proceed with your small stuff. And it would be nice to be able to get it done when we can, because August is usually a little bit slower for us. And then once fall sports starts, it gets crazy until December. So, and then you're up against trying to complete your budget for the end of the year, or, you know, make sure you got everything in order and, can get what you need, before the year ends. So my request would be, if it's possible, if we could, I think it requires an ordinance change, if we could increase that credit limit to 4,500. It would definitely be a huge help for trying to get projects.
So, and that's always paid off whenever it turns,
Yes.
I don't know why we just couldn't do an even 5.
I
You
think,
can take a check to Menards and pay for it though.
But a lot of places now are fighting you with checks. I mean, they do. I saw somebody denied a check the other day at a store, and I was like, denied a check. So that's, I mean,
I'm actually glad somebody broached the subject because, you know, the credit cards were originally just meant for emergency situations. Well, what we run into, same issues that Zach is with supply chain issues, yada, yada, yada. Sometimes if you need something, or if I need something right away, get blank, I need a valve or whatever. Credit card's a good option because you can find a local vendor or someone that can take that card that day and get the shit going.
Yeah, because it never happens Monday through Friday from 7 to 3. It happens at 2 o'clock
So,
Saturday afternoon.
yeah, just the point being that credit cards have become more of a useful tool to get us through the supply chain thing. Because it doesn't matter what you order anymore. It could be an 8/32 screw to a pump. Everything's 13 weeks out. But if you can find someone, either online or local, that has it, boom, you got it right there. Typically, we don't have a credit account with them, so the credit card does make an annual.
so if
Do
we
you-
make one ordinance change, does that cover everybody?
Yeah, there's just one
Yeah.
Okay.
ordinance on the credit cards.
Go ahead.
You have a
Sam.
card?
I do, yes.
Okay.
and if,
I actually only have 2 places that will only accept cards as payment, and they send me an invoice after we pay it. I don't use it for, I don't use it like these guys do.
Okay.
I mean,
So each of you have a card for your department?
And you do too? And you do too?
Okay.
There's actually 3 cards in my department.
Okay.
Fire department has one too.
Okay.
Max has
Okay.
one department.
Because they have a 5,000 spending limit without
Yeah,
authorization.
right.
anyway.
5,000 without
Make it
authorization.
equivalent to their purchasing
Yes.
authority because they can
Yeah.
go, if they had,
That makes sense.
if they
That's
had
what I said.
accounted
Mhm.
Menards, they could go up and charge $5,000.
Yeah.
If we didn't trust them with.
Right, a
having
5K
position
would
ready.
be,
yeah, that would be, yeah, I mean, that would be sufficient.
So can you write up a new ordinance where we can get this changed for the next meeting?
Yeah, we can just amend the current,
okay,
the current one and retype it out.
okay.
Thank you. The other item I have is the small room at the community center. And so we have, it's been inquired about probably a handful of times, since last winter. And anytime you bring up the 660 rental rate, people lose interest pretty quickly. Originally, the park board had recommended a rate increase from 300 to 450, which is kind of against their wishes. I mean, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but that, you know, it was pushed that it needed to be
Yeah,
660.
it was brought to this table and it was
Yes.
pushed to be, and it's, I mean, evidence shows that it went from being rented consistently to.
To
has
not
been
being
since.
rented, right.
So,
I mean, we would like to explore getting that changed, if that's something that you all are agreeable with, just to hopefully get somebody back in there renting. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, for the year, $5,400 is $5,400, and that helps with utilities and
Mhm.
those sorts of things, so.
So what amount, you wanna go to 450, you think?
450, yes, for that small, for the monthly rate. And we can, I can have, Mr. Patmore draft that up for us. Next meeting, that's okay with him?
Are you adjusting the daily rate in or the weekend rate?
So, we will probably discuss that a little bit. I think right now with where we're at, it's okay. I don't think the issue is really the rate. I mean, we're gonna try to advertise it a little more this coming year. We're gonna put a little bit of money into our advertising budget to try to just get people to realize, hey, we have a facility here that's very affordable for you to come rent for an hour or a day to have a small meeting or a birthday party. It's just, I just think that a lot of residents have lived here for quite some time, and most of them don't even know what's going on, because they just know it as a daycare. It hasn't been that for 10 years.
At least.
So, I would say for now, I mean, the daily rates and the hourly rates are agreeable to most people.
Okay.
I don't think the rates are an issue.
And this is what you guys discussed at your meeting, lowering it to
So yes,
450?
we brought that up at last month's meeting. Originally, last year when it was changed, they had recommended 450. now I can have them motion to recommend, if you would like me to again.
If they're recommending it, I mean, you're your spokesperson.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great for me, that's agreeable for you guys.
Zach invited me to go to their monthly meeting last Monday, was it?
Yes.
So I went. I was like wore out when I left out of there. I mean, there's a lot goes on in their meetings. I mean, there's a lot of brainstorming, trying to come up with solutions to make things happen and stuff. So it's action packed from the time it starts to the time it ends. On this rental thing, they was all in agreement, I guess, from the beginning that the 660 was pushed, not by them, but by a member or two on this council. I think we should explore maybe covering the cost of that ordinance change, because it was totally against their wishes. That's my thoughts on it.
Okay.
That's all I've got.
Thank you.
How many tournaments did you have this past year?
4.
4?
We have 1 in June and 3.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. You guys?
Oh, and sorry to add in on that, I am gonna try to work with Melissa Arnold this fall, as well as we reach out to the local businesses just to see, if they're open to sharing some of that information with us, if they feel like there's an impact, if they feel like there's some value to that, and maybe what that value is. If that's something that you all would like to look at when we get it prepared.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Basically just like an economic impact study, I guess you'd call it. I mean, it's nothing formal, but just kind of reaching out to local businesses and seeing if they would be willing to share some information with us and kind of see what impact that those tournaments are having, if they feel they're having an impact. So, that's all I've got.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you, Zach.
appreciate your help. Todd?
Can I just wanted to see if I could get a credit card. How about that, maybe?
Visa or MasterCard?
What's that?
Visa or Master?
I say we give him Discover, it's taking fewer places.
We're discussing it. I don't know.
Go for a lottery check, they're about that big.
Hey,
So you guys have my.
go in, change this in your card 0. That won't work for you.
Are we still talking about that?
Yeah, we
we
are.
are.
Okay.
Not playing
We're
cards
finished, we're
either.
finished now.
Any questions on my report? Well, as you can see, we had a complaint of a house on Robert E. Lee Drive Road, I'm not sure what that is.
Robert E. Lee Day, that's it.
Robert E. Lee Day.
That's
There
it.
you go. I
Mhm.
knew it was the
Mhm. My brother used to live on it.
couldn't think of it, what it was there for. So, I stopped by the very next day, the guy was taking a vacation to clean up, so he'd been taking care of his mother, going straight from work to his mother, spending the night, and going back to work, and all he had at home was a week, on the weekend, so just, it overwhelmed me, so, but he did do a fair amount of cleanup, and I'm not sure until whether that's satisfactory or not, but, and they asked me what more they may need to do, and looking at it, I thought, well, probably a lot, but you made a great effort, so if I need to suggest more, just, whatever you guys think, I'll suggest more. He's got a lot of down trees, they cleared a lot, and he's supposed to be bringing in a dumpster for other things, and then, anyway, he got a bid on moving the down trees. He had them cut down, and he had a bid on, because they were going to try to build a house on the lot next to it. And then that got kind of put off. So he has all these down trees that he paid to have cut down, and then he tried to get a bid on getting those removed, and it's like $15,000, and so he's like, he held up turns them into mulch, I don't know. Anyway, so that's his biggest deal now, is all those trees. So. And then we've got another complaint, any questions or any comments concerning that?
Really nothing we can do with
Not really, I mean, it's trees. It's
Tree,
what it is. It's
yeah.
not trash, it's trees. I don't think our ordinance covers trees or anything.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna interrupt.
Yes.
I walk a lot in that neighborhood.
Yes.
And it's more than trees. I mean, there's like boat, a boat there. I took a picture because I do walk quite
Is
a
this
bit.
a recent picture?
It's a recent picture, it was this year.
Okay.
So if we could maybe coordinate and I could show you what it looks like and then I've been gone, I was in California for a month, so I haven't done my walking.
Okay.
So if we could coordinate and I can show you
Okay.
and then,
I'm trying to think, 7-Eleven is when I visited the first time, and then,
okay,
oh, less than a week later,
is when you,
when I went back, and there were a lot of things that
A lot.
he had moved
oh,
and
okay.
gotten rid of and hauled
Okay.
off, like a couch and just, abnormal.
Well, that's great,
Yard
that's good
ornaments.
news, okay.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
I mean, I would like to see your picture. We'll
Okay.
see how that compares.
Sounds good.
Could you state your name for us for the record?
Sylvia,
Kempf.
Thank you.
Kempf.
Okay.
Okay, and I got another call on a property that just so happens the town owns. So, on Holiday Boulevard, is everybody familiar with the building over there?
Rice House. Ruth Rice House.
Oh,
So, he told me he sees, I don't know if it was a bobcat or some sort of a wild cat going in and out, getting its lunch there about every day. Now, I went over and tried to get up next to the building, because it's pretty grown up. And you can tell somebody had put plywood on places to secure it in the past, but the upper floor has windows that are wide open. And as I come around the building, I looked up and I seen something really big up there. I don't know what it was. I think it was like a massive bird of some type. He just kind of ducked back in there, so. And I don't see
We own
things, I don't see things.
do we own that?
We have to
So-
get some bids and get it.
Yeah,
We have to get it, I've tried to get it appraised by every appraiser around, and they've always been too busy to do it, or couldn't get around to it, went almost sick for a while, because the town needs to sell it. We got it back at a tax from the commissioners after it went, 2 tax sales, because of our unsafe building.
It was an ordeal, we went through it forever.
yeah,
So, yeah, we have to get it appraised so we can then auction it off.
I can find an appraiser if you want me to. Want me to find an appraiser? Okay,
We just have to have it appraised, so we can.
Okay.
Then we can auction it.
okay,
Can't complain about somebody else's eyes,
Especially
we
Nope.
have one ourselves.
Especially the same as the industrial park property, you have to have it appraised, then you have to sell it for not less than the appraised price, after you don't get a bid to the appraised price, then you can sell it outright, through a realtor.
so then the town pays the appraisal price.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Try to have something in mind who we're gonna use or,
I have sources, so I'll try to find out who we'll use. I'll let you know.
Okay.
I mean, I'll give options. Maybe I'll just communicate that to the board.
make
and
sure
then-
that they are, state
They have a license.
licensed,
Yeah, it would
not
be
a
somebody's,
regular.
Yeah,
Right.
It can't be like a UDO or anything, it has to be an actual.
Right.
Appraisal.
okay.
what about this appointment to the APC board? Are we still needing to appoint somebody? Should I leave
think
this on
so.
the agenda or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still
Yeah,
looking
we're
for
still looking
somebody.
for someone.
I do have somebody interested at this time, but we'll find out later.
Question, what's the APC stand for?
Advisory Planning Commission.
And each person is party affiliated, and we're looking for a Republican at this time.
When is that meeting usually?
That'd be next Monday.
Next Monday?
Third Monday. And then you have a public hearing next Monday on the solar and power ordinances.
Y'all done with me? Credit card, is that out the thing?
Yeah.
We will get
We
you
got
one
it
that's
zapped.
this big. I will make one for you.
I got a couple things here. My email's down, so. I can have it right now.
While he's looking, you want me to see if, what else did you say needed to be appraised? Does the industrial park need to be appraised?
No.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
saying that we had to,
Just making sure. Okay, so just the Ruth Rice.
yeah, it doesn't
Okay.
mean you have to sell it for the appraised price, it means you have to try to sell it for it. You have to offer-
Right,
you have to
exactly.
Open it up for bids, but then if you don't get the appraised price, then you can sell it other ways.
Okay, I was just making sure,
It's
because
a very complicated procedure.
I'd rather,
I don't understand why you would have to get it appraised if you're going to open it up for bids, because it's
I
based on
know.
an auction, but that's what the state law says.
okay.
Alright, so, I believe everybody has a monthly report. You see, we've been busy and all the work closed down through the week now, which makes things a little better through the week. I say a little, it's still a little bit crazy, but, so, the other thing I wanna mention is I went through this hiring process. My intent was to get someone started September first. I've had to move that up pretty quick because we have a 40-hour pre-basic that you have to go through in the very beginning before you ever go to the academy. There's a class starting next week in Ward County. I did make an offer to, I say a kid, he's a young man, he's married, lives in Ferdinand, in the process of buying a new home in Ferdinand. His name is Logan, so we're replacing a Logan with another Logan. This one was also in the military. He did 4 years full-time Army. Married, his wife's a first-grade teacher. He currently works at Branchville Prison, that's why he's not here now. His name is Logan Helming. He, very, very good kid. All the guys have had him. He was a superstar at the tryouts and everything, interviews, background check. He's literally got pulled over one time 2 weeks after he's got his license, and he's never had interactions with cops since. The good thing about him is he, 4 years military, he has transitioned into full-time military since he's gotten married, and he is now in the National Guard. So he does have those where he's gone 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. So, other than that, he works at Branchville Prison. Everyone I've spoke to over there loves him. They don't want to see him go. He will take a little bit of a pay cut coming here, but he said he really wants to be a police officer on the road. And I honestly don't blame him. I would not want to be stuck in a Branchville prison with prisoners. And the way I think it's set up there is they have one officer, or one prison guard per dorm, where they're making 50 to 100 guys in there. Doesn't sound like a good time. So he's very excited about coming here. I think he'll be a huge asset. Very, very professional, very squared away in his look, and it's yes sir, yes ma'am. He, like I said, he graduated from Forest Park. I think he'll do great. I have no concerns about him at all. He has no intentions of leaving. One of my biggest concerns was he's young. The Indiana State Police now pay $71,000 a year for a brand new state trooper. Said he has no desire to go to a bigger department. He wants to work in a small apartment, small town. My concern was that and Ferdinand. It's his hometown, graduated high school there. What happened is Ferdinand PD decides they want to hire you. He said, I've checked, they're not hiring anybody. And he said, honestly, you pay just a little bit more, 50 cents more. I said, well, perfect. So, I'll bring him to the next meeting, or once he gets out of this pretty basic training, then I'll bring him around each one of you, your house probably, and your house, probably your work, or wherever I run into you at. I think you guys will like him really well, good kid, and you've met him.
I have met him, he's very professional, and he is gonna be a good face out in our community. I mean, he's very polite, very professional.
Yes.
Great.
Good kid.
When's he
Very
starting?
good kid. Be the 21st is when his training will start, so it's gonna be a little quicker than what I wanted. I was trying to hold off a little bit and work with the budget as far as payroll goes. But he'll come in and I think it'll be fine. I've looked it over and over and over, and it's not gonna affect the budget at all. But these guys have really stepped up since the other one left, and we've done a lot of Saturdays together, and Sundays and nights, and you name it. But
Okay. 2 o'clock in the morning,
yeah,
text.
2 o'clock in the morning text to Jason, and, yeah, but it's part of it, that's what we're here for.
Is it where the agreement he's got signed?
Yes, yep,
Okay.
completely aware of it. He had a lot of questions. His wife had a lot of questions. His wife and I spoke. I actually told her she's more than welcome to get with my wife and see what it's like to be married to a cop that works the road and the call outs and all this, and she's wanting to do that, so. What I like to see, he had so many questions. I've never, and I've been hiring people my whole life, when I worked at Termex, when I had my own company, and now here, and this kid asked more questions than anybody I've ever known. And his wife had more questions than he had, which I like actually, because I think it takes a certain type of spouse to deal, and he's a first responder too. It takes a certain type of spouse to know that when the phone rings, and it's dispatch or somebody else, we gotta get out and go. So I just wanted to make sure she was fully aware of that and capable of dealing with that. So that's really all I got on him. Like I said, I'll introduce him to everybody as soon as he gets done with this school. He'll have to do that 40 hours. And like I said, the next one is starting on the 21st in Ward County. So he'll have to drive back and forth to Ward County, and he'll drive our police car. So he'll drive to here, pick up my vehicle, and then I'll drive the Ford Explorer until, since he has 0 arrest powers until he completes that class.
Okay.
Other than that, that's all I got on that part. I do want to bring up something I brought up to Trish and Jason just briefly. It's a cat issue that we're having in Christmas Lake Village. We had discussed changing the word.
My cat, if you're looking at me. Or my wife's cat.
Unless it's doing its duties in someone else's landscaping, then it's not your cat.
Well, we do have a neighbor who doesn't like our cat, so.
Really?
You know who it is.
Might be Kevin's cat.
It's not. I don't know what he's talking about. So, this lady started emailing me 9, 10 o'clock at night, which is fine. I responded back, and we've shared multiple emails together, and I wish I could pull up my email, but it's dead right now, and I'm having trouble getting ahold of Matt Taylor. So, her concern is she has a cat coming and defecating in her landscape. She went to all the neighbors said it's not theirs, nobody's claiming the cat. Our ordinance says that the local police department, the police officers will come and trap those animals and take them to
You,
Russ's
Russ.
place.
The ordinance that we were gonna change.
Yes, that we were gonna change.
Change the house, gotta have a cat house.
Yes. So she's kind of got us under, Jason, yeah, we're kind of over a barrel because it's what the ordinance says.
Mm-hmm.
I did explain to her that that's an old ordinance, and I believe it's in the process of getting revised. Also let her know that us as the police department, we do not have the ability to go and trap, or equipment to go and trap these animals. And she said, well, your ordinance says you do. And I said, I get that. She was very nice though, and she was polite about it. She just wants something done. So she had contacted, It Takes a Village. They said they won't take the cat, or cats in general. So she says if she can get a trap and trap them, then she wants us to come pick them up and take them to Russ. I told her I would discuss that with Russ, but I don't think we have the facility to hold
We do not.
animals.
Facility's been gone for many, many years.
Yeah, so, with that being brought up, I didn't know if there's anything the council could do, and I know we talked, is that, can you suspend that ordinance for now until it's been revised, or no? I will help her, because the ordinance says we have to, and I'll do whatever I can to help her, but I don't have a trap. If she traps it, I'll go get the cat, and I'll figure out what to do with it. And that's what I'll tell her after this meeting, if that's what we choose to do.
I mean, you can change the ordinance. I mean,
So let's,
he's got the duty to enforce all the ordinances that you all pass and put on him. Obviously, you can override that and say, do not follow our ordinance because we're going to change it.
I think it should be changed because there's no,
immediately.
Make an emergency motion to get that changed.
Yeah, can we do an emergency motion, Jason
To
said?
get that
Yeah, you
changed.
can instruct him not to
Oh,
retrieve animals despite the ordinance.
so
Need a
move.
motion for that?
Because, yeah,
I'd like to make a motion to instruct the police chief and the police department not to trap animals. And,
Sorry to interrupt you. Unless maybe, before we change it to that, unless the animal's a threat to life or someone else, because if we got a dog that's trying to attack
Yes.
somebody, I want to still be able to tempt it. We'll take
unless
care of
it's a
that.
danger,
Yeah, I didn't know if that's the verbiage he wants to put.
because pottying in the landscape's not a danger.
if it's a hazard to life and stuff, it can be
you're gonna
terminated.
trap it, you're gonna dispatch it, aren't you, if it's attacking a kid or something?
No, yeah, if it's a threat to human life,
It can be
then
terminated.
we'll have to
Yeah, it's not, you're not gonna trap it.
eliminate it. No.
I don't think Russ wants it either.
No,
I'm only there for the shooting.
yeah. We don't want to have to do that, but if it's a threat to someone else's life, then yes, we'll have to take deadly force.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you're not gonna trap it in that
So
situation.
just the tragic, okay.
Yeah, you're taking out the trapping, but as far as preserving human life or
Yes.
preventing injury, you're going to take the means necessary to stop the danger.
So we need to change that ordinance ASAP. Okay,
So am I changing my motion here?
just a trapping.
Make a motion that we will not trap animals, stray animals. But we will do what needs to be taken care of if it's a danger to human life or somebody else or
Okay.
something else.
Okay, and I'd second that.
I have a first and second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay.
Whatever we do is gonna be TikTok official,
Oh, 100%, yeah, it's.
whether it's right or wrong, or, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They make these TikTok videos, but they don't put the whole story with it.
yeah.
Part of the problem is we don't have a animal shelter here in the county. And, we did explore, was it Ward County or was it
no,
Vanderburgh?
it's Chrisney, it's
Chrisney.
Spencer County. It takes a village, but we put out bids and they didn't answer the bid. And I still think there needs to be a way we can coordinate with them and give them a donation in order to do so.
Is there a way we could like go together with the county and?
If the whole county would do it, yeah.
Because the county has talked about, expanding that building larger.
Yes,
But the funds to do
Yes.
that, so I mean, is that something we could look at, like?
We
partnering
were,
with the county to help expand that facility?
That's what really the county should try.
that's 100% great idea. How does that,
State, shouldn't
They
it?
should really try and interlock with all
Yes,
the
they should.
municipalities.
Yeah.
so
To fund animal control.
how do we get that to the county's ears?
we would have,
So I'm on the advisory council for EMA, and we have a monthly meeting,
Good,
and I'll bring that up to Stephanie, because I know she had discussed, and we had a county council person there and a county commissioner also
Good.
there. And they had discussed possibly trying to file for a grant to actually get a person, animal control person, to come out and do these things. And that was part of my email to this lady was, honestly, the county needs to move forward with some type of animal control, and, maybe bring that up to the county council maybe, but I'll bring it up to Stephanie and the county council and see if that's what they're, maybe they can draw something up, have their attorney draw something up. And we can-
I'm sure we're not the only town having.
no,
No, definitely not.
And we have in the past made donations to the county for
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
And it was quite a large sum, if I remember.
It was
Yeah.
based off of our population.
We could
So-
round it up to
And that's when we had the actual animal control board,
Right.
before that
People
was,
on there
taken away.
could hear it.
It was about 3 or 4 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was on
You
that,
know,
yeah.
just to get it in their ears.
And
Okay.
One more thing, can you talk about that crosswalk?
that's, yeah,
Oh,
that's what I was gonna get into.
Thank you.
That was next. So, Kevin had some questions come to him, I've had several questions come to me on what to do with this crosswalk down here, that Holiday World has. And I put something on Facebook,
Mhm.
basically copy and pasted what he gave me and added a little bit more, but, and Kevin, you can elaborate anytime you want, but for the newspaper guy here, it's very important that people understand that you do have to stop if a pedestrian is walking across a roadway in a crosswalk, especially one with signage. We have had, what would you say, 4, 5, 6 crashes right there, where people are stopping when they see that yellow light flashing and a kid starting to come across. We've had, I would say 4 to 6 rear end accidents, and I will actually pull those, and I'm going to take those to Holiday World's engineers and say, here, this is what we got. Yes, the crosswalk's working, knock on wood, no one's been hit there, but we've had not a human being, but we have had 4 to 6 cars. Matter of fact, I called him one day, and when I called you about the radiator, that's exactly what happened. A guy rearing another guy, and now it's in a legal battle because apparently one of them didn't have insurance, and that's a whole nother story, that's what we deal with, but, just so the public knows, if you're coming up to a crosswalk, and again, Kevin, anytime, and there's a pedestrian crossing that crosswalk, you do have to yield to them. And I apologize, I'm not sure what your name is, the newspaper.
Don.
Don, and I'll get with you and get you something maybe you can put in the paper, with the state law and everything on that, so. But we just gotta be cautious, and there's several, obviously, here in town.
We've been very fortunate, we haven't had a pedestrian hit yet.
I know.
We've had some really
I
close
can watch from
calls.
my kitchen window up here at the corner of Ashburn and Louis J. Cook, you know, it's 4 out of 10 stop at that stop sign.
And
up
there's
there.
stops, yeah.
And then they just, I can sit there and wash dishes and it's like, you know,
And we stopped so many cars right there by Jay. I've literally sat there, in that unmarked, I can sit there at that stop sign, people drive right through and I'm sitting there and wave at me. Then you go pull them over and they're, what are you stopping me for? We stopped cars,
I got 2 in less than 20 minutes.
yeah.
yeah, it's not that they're not monitoring it, they're, you just can't sit there
With a
and run the
flashing
clock.
light
Yeah,
up or
yeah.
something, a flashing light
We
there.
discussed that, I think I brought that up to Russ at one time, maybe so to answer your question, before I jump ahead of myself, we discussed that. Would a flashing light help make people stop there? Probably not. And I don't mean that in a bad way or rude way, but people that are running that stop sign, we get the same people doing it. One of the business owner here in town, that I know I've stopped twice, and one of the other guys stopped me one time, and he lives down that way. But a flashing light would, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that, it would raise
I
awareness.
mean, even
on
if
it.
it's a link or red,
Yeah,
in
that's
three
what we
ways.
discussed.
You have persistent law breakers, you're gonna deal with it.
I was gonna say, if it's somebody who knows they've gotten in trouble,
Yeah,
why aren't they not doing it anymore?
yeah.
There's no one else on this planet, hey, stoplights are stoplights, the signs than me, but I still stop.
The only thing you can do is enforce it and
And that's
write
what
tickets.
We
And
try to enforce it, write tickets, and,
Just as a thought, as far as the pedestrian crossing up there, I would imagine the first thing they'll do is they will petition the state to lower the speed limit through there. I would guess.
Oh,
Is it 45?
yeah, no, it's 40. Yeah, it turns to 40 right there, doesn't it?
right,
Right about there, change
Oh,
to
you're
40?
talking down here.
Yeah, yeah.
45.
Is it 45?
We jumped issues on you,
It's 45 down there.
45 until you get to the light, then it changes to 40 on this road?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
and if they do that, can we get them a petition from Casper on down to town too?
As far as.
Changing the
Speed
speed limit?
Changing the speed limit?
Yep.
I mean, we could.
because it's,
And I don't know if that'll happen, I'm just assuming.
I'm just,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume so as
There's
well.
also a crosswalk at Casper.
Yeah, I know.
Because I was asking about specifically the flashing, do the flashing lights mean we have to stop if somebody's crossing? I'm like, it doesn't matter, that's just an added safety.
Yes.
You have to stop. If someone's in a crosswalk anywhere, you have to stop for them,
Yeah,
including out there on 162.
Yes,
If somebody's
anywhere.
crossing the highway
Have the right of way.
You have to stop for them. If it's a bicyclist or a pedestrian crossing that crosswalk.
The kids on the bikes are the ones that scare me the most out here, and we've had less, I keep looking back at him, because he works a lot of crashes. We've had way less crashes at Casper with the crosswalk than we've had down here where the lights are flashing. And the speed limit up here is way more.
I will say that the people using the dorm and stuff over there, they are courteous.
Oh,
Very
they are,
courteous,
very.
yes.
They've been, that hasn't been nearly the thing that we were concerned. That has been good. They have been good.
They've had a few internal issues and all
Yeah.
they've dealt with them, and, to my knowledge, our department has not been in that dorm one time other than to take a tour.
That's awesome.
There's a lot less issues in the park this year.
Yes,
I think these kids.
I think it's
there are
good.
very respectful.
yeah.
I think they kind of thinned the bottom.
Right,
third.
yes. I do
Hire some
too.
of them back, so.
I think it's been a good thing.
Yeah, it has been, and I kicked myself in the butt for thinking it was gonna be horrible, but I always think.
You know, I
it was
dreaded it
horrible.
at first, and then
I
I
think we
think
all kind of,
Well, there's that edge of fear, you know.
yeah.
I think some of the other local businesses are going to be hurting when those kids go back, like Casey's.
Oh, have they really?
Yeah.
Three-quarters of Casey's staff, those kids are moonlighting.
Oh,
Oh, they all move
That
like, oh, they, yeah, some of them, I think there was,
Casey's has run the smoothest.
oh, yeah.
all
last couple
summer.
months.
Yeah.
Oh,
So when those kids are gone, it's gonna be, cases,
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
oh
we're
no.
actually closing at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. So, question here, may have nothing to do, it has really nothing to do with law enforcement. The dollar store over here, the town has no control over them not showing up, nobody working, the doors open or closed or anything like that.
Farm
We-
marshal, the one thing I think jurisdiction, so, but
I would like to say that we get no less than 5 to 10 complaints a week over, nobody's in the dollar store, the door's open,
all
we're in here
over
shopping, we get up there, nobody's working, I'm like, it has nothing to do with us, but.
I witnessed it.
they have staffing problems over St. Minder and every place
I've
else.
been on the news.
We have a huge staffing problem.
Doors open and nobody's in there.
Yeah.
It's the same way at St. Minors.
I used self-checkout to get one of the jackets the other day.
I know it's not law enforcement,
I got a question
but
for you.
yes,
The Sundays, like we're coming back from church from St. Mindred, and
yes.
it's been on the days that are not real busy for Holiday World, because there's not anybody out there at the Casey's corner there.
Yes.
And people are pulling out from Casey's there, or, you know,
Going up the
not
center,
Casey's,
turning
but
out.
from either, one was a camper, one,
Yeah.
and they're pulling right out in front. I mean, I had to lay on the horn, we about got hit 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't understand why people, they don't stop at those flashing lights,
Yeah.
but
We really need a stoplight up there, but
We
that's,
do.
I think that's.
But the government, isn't that who
No,
stops
we
us?
need
The
to have-
state of Indiana. State of Indiana won't let us have one.
During the eastbound lane, that's the other lane, turn left.
Yeah, they
I'm
stopped
going like
there,
this, I'm blowing the horn and everything,
they
we
stopped
had a
there.
dog with us one
They
time,
stopped
and
to
she
do
about
visibility,
broke the
you're like,
windshield. I'm like, no.
Yeah, go, please go, please go.
Kelly, we
You
actually
have to
go
ride
right
there.
there,
Please.
doing traffic in that intersection, and we have traffic stop that's and people will go around the traffic and get in the westbound lane and just try to drive, some of them drive right past us, and you're like, what are you doing, you're on the wrong side of the road, and then they get back over and keep going. And we got 2 cars sitting up there with lights on, and they still,
Right, right. I don't understand why NDOT doesn't do their traffic counts when it is actually.
Right.
Because to me, they should be doing it when it is the most congested, so that they see everything that's going on. And then in the off-season, they could make it a flashing light again.
We
and
asked
they
them to
can do
that.
that.
Probably
We
five-
did.
5 years ago or so, we asked them to do that. I think that was right during COVID, so they came back and the numbers were not.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we should have them revisit it again.
I do too.
Have to meet.
I think that would be a good idea.
And unfortunately, a casualty or a fatality is one of those things you have to meet.
They
Yeah.
tell us They won't pay time.
Right.
Fatalities,
That's scary.
that's one of the 12 ones you gotta be.
Well, it's like 231, when they had, before they put the J-turns in.
Yes.
How long were we out there?
Yes.
A lot of time for fatalities, and then they said, oh, we need to fix this.
Yep.
We don't have very many crashes up here at this intersection. We have a lot of close calls, a lot of breaks, and a lot of tire squealing. But I would venture out to say this year, maybe one crash up there.
You had a rollover one up there, didn't you?
That was at
That's
stop
because we're
light.
good defensive drivers.
Yeah, that's at stop light, lady coming, westbound from Perry County. And two young girls were coming out of Hollywood and she just right through the red light, like it wasn't even there. Not one person got hurt, not even scratch. I don't know how. But that's all I got. I don't know if I
Okay.
didn't answer your question, but we tried. Yes, sir. Look like you got a question.
Me?
Yeah.
What, I was thinking back on that crosswalk, wasn't there talk about, an overwalk or maybe even a tunnel being put in at one time?
Yep. Yep.
It has
Too
been.
expensive.
They talked about putting a tunnel, because, so their original plans, to my knowledge, talking with their engineers, was to turn that employee parking lot into part of the water park.
Right, and
And
then,
then the employee parking lot would be on the opposite side of the road where they put the dorms.
and then they'd have the
And
tunnel.
then they'd have a tunnel going in like they do up here.
Right.
I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah, PennDOT squashed that years ago.
PennDOT did, okay.
PennDOT said no, yeah.
On both of them, or well, they were talking about tunnel?
On the underpass,
Oh,
it's on the underpass, not the overpass.
Yeah, I think they could still do the overpass, as long as they said it had to be ADA, you know, and all this, and
We get semis through here, it's gonna have to be a heck of an overpass.
it'd be pretty tall, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can do it.
Oh, yeah, they can.
Yeah. You can make it any right, so. That's all I have, unless anybody has
Okay.
any questions.
Okay, I have nothing.
Thank you.
Done. Russ, you're up.
Just before we get started, that's correct, if he gets a credit card that big, I want one of those. About $1.5 billion.
We got the papers here so we can get a picture of you with it too.
Under trails, I don't give formal reports anymore in that trail project.
So we can cross it off this
Part,
list.
fizzled out for now. I know that Kevin and I are working through some of the nuances of pursuing some more financing, grant money for to finish up the Santa Claus and Discovery Trail. So just making some updates. I know that we're still waiting on bollard installation, referring to some of the things we'll talk about tonight, pedestrian safety on the trail. We've had incidents, and I don't know if Jamie's had any more, about folks driving on the trail. Please let the public know that do not do that. There are bicyclists, pedestrians on this trail. I know that Zach and his crew have been working on the landscaping in the grassy area, doing a good job on that. We also had the bollard over here taken out by a truck driver some months ago. I got the contact information from James. I will be sending those folks a bill for the repairs on that. Other than that, I don't know what to tell you about the trails. Unless the council and the public has any questions, that's all I have.
I have nothing.
Okay, street department and the utility department. If you guys noticed, my agenda items were absent this month from the agenda. Just too many things to count, too many things to list. So I will again just entertain questions from the council or the public. But as far as just the wastewater and water utility, we are super busy, we're super short-handed, and unfortunately, we're losing ground at this point. Things and services are going unprovided, and it's simply because we've got to reevaluate and assess things and just do the things that physically make water move or get waste treated. That's what we're focusing on right now. So again, the council and the public will just have to bear with us. We're just taking care of the bare minimum right now. Zach was involved in some of this. We've advertised for jobs, I don't know how many times in the last 6 to 8 months. Zero. We're getting no responses. I just did 2 weeks worth of notice in the newspaper, not one response. So I'm working right now with the Alliance of Indiana Rural Water, and I always forget the name of this thing, but I think it's Indiana Workforce One. I'm working with those folks as well to see if I can get some posting on their sites and their media as well, so to see if we can get somebody. With regards to what we're doing at the sewer plant and the collection system, right now we're preparing the renewal for our NPDES permit. Every 4 years that has to be renewed, so I'm filling out the application for that right now.
What's that?
It's the application for our permit renewal for wastewater discharge is what it is. The acronym is NPDES, and that stands for National Pollution Elimination System. I am quoting a new inlet distributor for the oxidation ditch. Again, that's just a portion of the treatment. We did complete our lab proficiency test in August, or I'm sorry, end of July. That has been completed and submitted. And I emailed the council some weeks ago about a complaint we got from a resident in the village. I've spoken with IDEM and that individual. I've heard nothing more yet, but just so that the council and public is aware, the area that the resident was talking about is slated for repair. So we're hoping that that will mitigate any concerns that they have. As far as the lateral inspection program that we have going on, we have 23 active repairs or exemptions in the system. We got 3 new in July. As far as safety goes, we've had 5 field hazard reports from the month of July. We had safety quotes on our water repair valve, lift station pump replacement, some weed eating and the sewer line installation. So we've had no lost time issues. Underwater, I'll move on quickly. So just some capital project updates. Again, the water well is installed and operating, has been since I believe in June, May or June. No issues yet. We've got some electronic issues that we're working on, but we're mostly nuisances. The water tower, the painters are on site and have been on site for some months now. Friday, they were hoping to have the interior of the bowl completely painted. If you guys have been back there, you notice there's stripe painting. They go through and do all the seams first with their intermediate coat, which is what it is now. So this week, weather permitting, they'll start the intermediate coat on the outside. They're hoping to be done painting by the end of August. And then the electricians will move in right on their tail, install coaxes and electrical control and all that. We'll be putting a mixer within the tanks as well. Basically what that does, it keeps the water from stratifying. In a big tank that size, you'll have temperature variations in the water. That also hinders our efforts to keep out what you guys have heard about lately, the disinfection byproducts, haloacetic acids and trichloromethanes. So that mixture will help eliminate some of that. After that, we're done with the 2023 capital project in the water. And I know that the engineers are now working on the proposed layout for the EDA, we're calling it the EDA water line, which is a 16-inch water main from the existing water treatment plant up here to Holiday World to the existing tie-in that we have with a meter up there, and then tie in to the existing 12-inch of it Ashburn Drive. I think we have all but one easement for those, and we're working through that issue right now, so I think that's it as far as. Any questions on the EDA water project, capital project, or anything I've spoken about tonight?
You had an item under street department about a crosswalk.
Yeah, and I apologize, I meant to give the Pat today. This is for Sands Cottages. As you guys know, they have developed and have been in place for years, Sands Cottages on the west side of Buffalo Bill Road. Pat is now developing the east side. And again, I haven't got all the details from Pat, this is just very, very vague. So they're wanting to install a crosswalk, I guess on the south end of the existing park to tie into the property on the east side of the road. He's wanting to put a crosswalk there and associated signage like children playing, that kind of thing. So I told him that before I proceed with anything, I've got to get, I guess, approval and any legalese that needs to be added to that before he could proceed. So I don't know what the stipulation ramifications of doing something like that are. It's a rural area, rural road, 35 mile-an-hour speed limit. So again, I didn't know if there's any legal ramifications or it's not allowed on that type of road. Didn't know.
Because does he actually have pedestrian facilities? I mean, he doesn't have sidewalk. Does he have a sidewalk going down to?
No, it basically connects 2 drives.
That's what I'm saying, it's kind of odd because there's no pedestrian facilities, it's still.
Yeah, no, it's just drives. It is access roads to the properties is all it is.
That's kind of odd. I don't know.
So,
I didn't look into that because that's a strange.
From what I've gathered, there's gonna be a playground or something on the east side, or, yeah, the east side there,
By his pond.
by the pond there, and then of course there will be campsites, et cetera, cottages over as well. Just wanting safe access between properties. So if there's any input from the council or from legal, I'm happy to hear it so that Pat can get started on the project.
I'll have to look at it.
Yeah.
I'll look at it. I don't think you're not connecting pedestrian facilities.
Yeah, no, you're right, there's none, it's just two property access, two gravel lanes.
Is he gonna put a sidewalk up, or?
I'm sure that if it needs to be done, Pat will do it.
Yeah.
My understanding from talking to him is he was going to add a sidewalk and also walking trails in this,
New addition.
it's like nature
Yeah.
preserve.
Yeah, that's
That
right.
is wanting to build.
And then that's all interior, so.
Yeah.
I'll look at it.
Is he gonna connect it to Casper?
I guarantee you, he wouldn't be scared to try. He's done a good job at that.
Oh, yeah.
He would not be afraid to try. That's all I have.
More reason to put the trail down that far.
Thank you all.
Hey, Russ. The employee that we have, his health isn't very good. It didn't,
No, he will not be here.
we've done everything that we can do as far as.
We've just been spitballing, and things that we've thought about are either legally wrong or, job standard, labor standard wrong. I mean, I thought about bringing back part-time to paying full-time status, and I know we're not gonna allow that. Because the guy was just that valuable to me, or invaluable, however you want to put it. And again, based where we are with getting applications, I get zero. If I get someone, they will not be qualified. It'll require 3 years training and licensing and all that, before they even think about doing what I'm doing now as far as wastewater treatment plant duty. So, just things like that.
If you come up with creative ideas, post it to us, bring it to us.
Can you hire that job out for professional service?
I am also working with someone on that as well, but again, right now, the lead that I have, he's not licensed either. So all he could do is come in and help run the lab and all that kind of stuff. Anything would help at this point. Obviously, I would like someone that's licensed.
Mm-hmm.
They can sign reports and keep them more efficient overlook of operations. So. But yes, I will post you guys.
Do
Like
let
I
us-
said, we've just been spitballing that, last thing we can do, so. That answer your question, please?
We've got a
I
couple.
mean, as an employer, we've done everything for him that we can do.
Yes, yes, we have. So, I mean, essentially, he's not on the payroll any longer, he is still making his insurance premium payments. And of course, he's using his short-term or long-term disability benefits. But he's been paying his premiums. Other than that, we haven't kept his uniforms on roll or anything like that, so.
We've got a couple
It was a good one.
invoices to go along with the water. I don't know, do you guys wanna?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do them now while they're,
So the first invoice is from Phoenix Fabricators, and it is their pay request number 10, and you guys have copies of these in your packet here. The invoice is for $107,095.40. The water board has not approved these yet. They're going to at their meeting tomorrow night, but they would like pre-approval for you guys to pay for these invoices out of the ARPA funds pending their review of the invoices. The other one is for Midwest Engineering. It is in the amount of $11,129.33. Both of these invoices are the ARPA money.
okay. If we could entertain a motion to
Pre-approved.
give pre-approve pending the water board approval.
Is that a,
Authorized payment for.
Yeah.
okay,
ARPA fund.
okay. I make a motion that we authorize funds being used to pay these two bills. Can I just say that?
Yeah, subject to the water board approval.
Subject to water board approval.
Second.
Have a first and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Be known that the motion passed for the approval of these. Industrial Park, we have nothing. Town? Attorney.
Except for down under the, Russ alluded, I did submit the next level trails grant, based upon some numbers we crunched. If they approve our prepaid engineering expenses as a part of the match, and then Russ and I discussed, construction inspection, if the town would provide those. Russ and I kind of spitballed on that, but combining those two, it basically came up to be no match is required for the town, so we would get the trail constructed completely across Heritage Hills grounds. And the school did agree that after it's constructed, it's theirs, basically, it's their responsibility to take care of maintenance and everything. It actually saves them about 4 acres of mowing every time they mow because of the trail being there. So anyway, in the course of doing that, I kind of entered into a email correspondence with a guy by the name of Brad Scales. He's the head of a organic company, it's True Tech or something like that, over in Ward County.
Basically, he works, I think, with Boonville High School. They've started a mountain biking club, and I think they've also reached out to a few other high schools.
Heritage Hills has a mountain biking club anyways. Anyway, he said they've been looking for a place around Santa Claus to put a mountain biking trail. And did I know any place in town? And the first thing that popped into my mind was that industrial park property that is not good for anything,
Building.
basically. We couldn't, I mean, it was gonna cost the town $1 million to get streets put in, to put residential, it's not good for industrial. And I'm not a mountain biker, never been on a mountain bike in my life. For me, it would probably be concussion waiting to happen. But, I know Jane does, and she's very familiar with it. The other good thing about it, I thought, was, hey, we put a mountain bike trail in.
Yep.
There's really no infrastructure other than probably a parking area, but then especially dirt trails, maybe a few wooden bridges in some locations. So if you did have somebody come along in 5 years or 10 years and want to develop it, there's not anything you have to tear down or anything. So anyway, I told him that was the only place that I knew of that was big enough. And actually, it would be the topographic changes and everything, or what my understanding is mountain bikers look for is exactly that kind of rugged terrain, right their mountain bikes. Anyway, I volunteered that to him, that might be the only location I knew of that the town owned. And he was going to be here tonight, but he couldn't make it. He said he'd like to come and address you because, like I said, I think he's got 5 or 6 different high schools, including Heritage Hills, that has a mountain biking club now. So, anyway,
He will be at the next meeting. He was
Okay.
gonna come tonight,
Okay.
to talk to you about that, but he was, like you said, unable to, so he is coming to the next meeting to
Okay.
discuss that.
So if you can keep it on the agenda for next month.
the other thing, I do have the ordinance from last month that, I did put a cross on there just so you don't sign it because you weren't at the meeting.
Right.
But I have a name drawer on this, so, new secretary, so you'll need to sign that. Then up for your first reading is ordinance 2023-11, an ordinance establishing Department of Economic Development. This is something for future needs, if we would need to establish a residential TIF, that kind of thing, we would have to have an economic development commission. Kevin had sent me a concern about the language for the appointments, because it's rather convoluted, because the president names them. Well, the president appoints them, but they are nominated, one by the president, one by the council, and then one by the county council. And if you read down further, there's some provisions that if the county, basically it's to hedge against the county not nominating someone, so if they don't appoint someone, then the president has the authority to do it. But this just follows state statute with regard to the development, or the designation of a Department of Economic Development and how it's run. We need a first reading, a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2023-11, an ordinance establishing Department of Economic Development.
Make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2023-11, establishing an economic development committee.
I have a first. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a first and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Let be known it passes. Question, do we need to have funding for this? Okay.
They don't have a salary, it's gonna be basically something sitting on the shelf, just waiting in case.
Okay,
So you don't have to spend 60 or 90 days if somebody wants to do something, just to establish this board, it'll be out there just basically waiting.
okay.
It's just good to have. Because it is something which you can foresee being needed. The only other thing I had, I still had the OPDMDs, I don't know if you had time to look at it anymore.
Sorry, it's on the bottom of the file.
Yeah, so, that's still an open ordinance that I've got. And then, the health board is that it? I didn't see it also on the agenda. Oh, it is.
Yeah,
It's talked about.
We can talk about it now if you want.
Okay, yeah, I had a file open, so you need to appoint someone, and there's certain people that have to have certain qualifications in order to be appointed to the Spencer County Health Board, but as the largest municipality, you have the right to appoint someone, so. I shot out a few names, like a licensed pharmacist that lives in town.
And we have to have these names turned in by September 1st is the deadline, so we really need to,
It has to be tonight.
we need to really have something tonight so I can get that, to them. Kevin, I think, did give out some suggestions,
Yeah, there's.
but it can really be anybody who meets those requirements.
Okay. You know how often this meets?
I think monthly, yeah.
Okay.
Because they're over immunizations, they're over, like the, septic systems and everything.
Okay. And, okay.
You mentioned, did you Dr. Marchand, was that one of the names?
She is moving into town. Sure. I mean, she practices here in town, and then she just sold her house out by the hill.
Yeah, she's moving in.
Property back, in the back of the, by the maintenance area, I think, right in that area.
I think after the package, you should have.
She bought a house.
Oh, did she?
They bought a house in the village.
Is it, yeah.
And then on the back, it's got the requirements of people like people who qualify.
So we appoint one.
Well,
Kevin?
we can give names or we have to say one
We
person.
have to submit 3.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So,
I guess submit
Would you
three,
think-
but those three might not be,
Then the county decides.
okay,
can I just point one and the county's gotta go with it?
but does that person know it?
I don't think so. I think it says you have to.
Yeah, you have to ask them.
I think you should talk to them before you do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I understand that, but where I'm going at with this, if I gotta appoint three for the county to select one, you know, it's harder to sell.
if you get one to say yes, then
Yes.
pick that person.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just have to get them to say yes.
I don't know when.
Are both of that couple pharmacists, the couple you were talking about who are pharmacists, are they both? Is his wife one?
She, yeah,
Yeah, she's one too. So that would be 3.
Yeah, it's
You
actually
do.
Kevin is the one who, it's one
Right.
person appointed by the county executive. So one person appointed by the county commissioners from a list of 3 recommendations by the president of the town.
So he has to do
It has to be
3.
3 recommendations.
And then they choose.
Then I guess they can vet whether people are interested.
I do Turner, Marshall.
Again, it's not my procedure, it's state legislatures. It's kind of
Oh,
like
yeah,
the appointment of
Denise.
EDA people.
I mean, you've got 2 Turners who are possible. They're both pharmacists,
You got Dan Sherry, school superintendent.
yeah.
but he's not a health associated
But it
person.
It
School
says,
superintendent as well.
Yeah, he won't.
I doubt he would.
That's more on his
what
plate,
about
yeah.
Chad, do you think he would do it? Sneeders?
He's no
He's
superintendent.
not a superintendent, he's a principal.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, professional engineers.
John Wetzel? Clint Ruse?
Are they medical?
No, it says,
It's just a.
Oh, it could be,
An engineer.
They can
Well,
be
that's for the,
engineers.
that's for the septic system.
okay, okay,
Because they do oversee septic systems.
okay.
I don't think we have any epidemiologists in town, do we?
Not that I know of.
None that I know of.
does Clint live in the area?
Who?
Clint?
Between here and Dale.
So, does he have a Dale address or?
I think it's Dale address,
So I couldn't appoint him,
You
right?
can appoint anybody. Yeah, you can recommend anyone.
Anyone in the
They
county?
don't have to be
I mean,
in,
the whole point, the town is supposed to have.
Yeah.
The reason that the town is given this appointment is because we're the most populous municipality.
Mm-hmm.
So it's assumed that it would be the town wants some representation on this county board. So you would assume that
Perry.
it would be somebody representing the town's interests, which would be a town citizen, but
Yeah,
legally
Perry, I
it's not
think.
required.
Jim Gruber's in Perry, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's scary.
Does a lot of work.
You got Jess Whitman too.
Oh, yeah,
She's a
Jess.
dentist.
Jess Whitman.
But she lives in Newburgh or something.
No, she lives here.
Oh, does she live here now?
Oh, yeah.
From Elkhorn.
Oh, yeah.
I thought she lived in Newburgh or something.
No, she's lived here probably 12 years.
I
In
think her
different- in
last
3
one's
different
in
houses.
college. She might be a good choice.
Who?
Her last one, I think, is in college, right?
Her first one's in college.
Oh, first
yeah.
one.
Mhm. But she wouldn't, I think that might be a good role for her.
Mhm.
Sometimes we leave the dentists out. We should put it back in.
Okay. So I got a number of people I
Okay.
will reach out to, if anybody knows their phone numbers or how I can get a contact
know.
of them.
Only Jess's business phone number.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
okay.
visit her next week, I can mention it to her.
Yeah, oh, I'm going tomorrow.
Cool.
You'll beat me there.
What? Yeah.
Why don't you let me know, and I reach out to Greg and
I was there.
Nikki, see if they
Don't mind
want
what
it.
I-
If not, I go down to Dr. Marshall.
So Kevin, are you gonna get that list to Kevin Patmore or to myself, or which one of us is getting these names turned in? It doesn't matter. I just wanna
Nobody
make sure
turned in,
we're-
I wanna contact them, see if they would consider.
Yeah.
it.
After that, who are you gonna give those?
I
I
just
would-
wanted to make sure, I don't mind.
I give it to both of you.
Do you want me to ask Jess tomorrow
Yeah,
or
go
not?
ahead and ask her.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
I'll step in and help you real quick. Sorry.
You want a card too?
No, I have one.
Does your wife wanna be on the poll?
No.
Your time's up.
Yeah.
you're done. We don't want to hear you.
She's on like multiple boards for deacons, so, that wears her out. Real quick, I know Max had said something about the traffic safety day. That's this weekend on the 19th, you'll be down at Yellow Park. We will have, the media guys already gone, tell your friends, family, and everybody, we will have Ashburn shut down for, 3 hours? Maybe just prepare before that, to through traffic. So it'll be shut down there from Pro Super Bowl down to the next parking lot. But
Okay.
Come down, we'll have helicopters,
Cool.
food trucks, fire trucks.
What time is that?
10.
Cool.
Russ will have backhoe, I think, and dump truck. and
We can.
stuff.
Yeah, we haven't been asked yet, but yeah, we can.
Well,
That's why you got up there.
somebody was asked, but I don't think it got to you.
Oh, really?
I apologize.
That's it.
Travis said, well, I'll get with Russ and let him know, you want us down there again this year? I said, yes. So,
No, we're always happy to have it.
yeah. And one other thing here real quick, we had discussed the bulletproof vest.
Yes.
There was a fund,
On the budget
okay. never mind.
discussion, but we can discuss it now.
No, go ahead, I'll let you do your thing in now, I was just gonna bring it up, but I didn't realize it was on, sorry. I'll jump
Fine,
in.
we can, no, we can talk about it later. So,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, now it's fine. Hop up here, James. So, in the email that I sent you about the budget questions and things that we still have yet to be decided on, one of them was the bulletproof vest for James's department.
Mhm.
In the QCAP improvement fund, there is $10,000 in there that has not been spent. That's what we budgeted, 10,000, there's 10,000 still in there. Unless you guys have another plan for that money. One of the uses that, we can use that money for is body armor. That is an approved expense. So if you guys would like, we had budgeted in his budget for next year, under one of his special funds, I think it was the town marshal special funds, we had increased his budget for that body armor, but we can use that money this year So I would like to see if you guys would approve him to go ahead and purchase the body armor this year using that Cume Cap improvement money. The body armor is $5,200, so he has to have approval from you guys to be able to order it this year because it's over that $5,000 limit. But I don't know what you guys think about that, if that's something you would like to possibly go ahead and do and take back out of his budget, then it wouldn't have to be in the budget for next year.
I don't know why we'd put something like that off if we can do it.
Yeah.
Why would we put it up? You know, if we can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you just have the money earmarked for something
Yeah, we
else,
didn't know if the
but,
money was,
Yeah, is it earmarked
Like on
for
mine
something
now.
else? I
Order
mean,
them
if
now,
it's,
you can get them this
if
year.
it's body armor, it seems like the sooner the better.
yeah, it's August.
I think we would, yeah. I think if I order them before September, we'd have them before the end of the year, so.
And yours expires this year,
Yeah,
Ours
yes.
expires December 31st.
December.
Yeah,
And if it doesn't come in, you can always encumber the money as long as you got the invoice, so
yeah.
that way it comes out of this year's budget.
Yeah.
You could order these things tomorrow, then get them in.
Yes.
Yeah,
if you guys
Yes.
order
Till
them
tonight.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yes.
he could go ahead and place the order then and get
Mm.
moving on that, so.
Make a motion that we use the Cume Cap money in order to fund the body armor so that those purchases can be made ASAP.
Second.
And also that we'd be taking that money away from his budget
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
so,
2024.
The decisions we make tonight on the budget, then I'm gonna make those corrections. Tomorrow I'll start working on making those corrections. So I'll remove what we had put in that line item and reduce that budget back down to the 3,000 that he originally budgeted for. We were the ones that bumped it up
Right.
to include that 5,200, so, it's currently for the budget workshop at 8,200, but I would reduce that back down to the 3,000 then.
Correct.
That was
Okay.
Originally.
So should I amend my motion? I amend my motion to include a change in the budget for next year to reflect the fact that we're using this money now.
And we're getting a quality vest, we're not getting
Yeah.
that everybody's happy with.
Yes. It's actually, it'd be exactly what he's wearing right now.
Mm.
And we get them from Indianapolis, and they provide all the Indianapolis Metro, correct?
Not natural, but about every other agency in central New
In
York.
Central. So-
Brian, stand up and
They're
model
very-
for us.
Yeah, they're very comfortable.
Very good.
Yeah.
Put all the weight here instead of
On the shoulder.
here and your back, and that, there's a lot of studies on it. I
Good.
can talk to you hours about it,
Good.
Go ahead and walk the catwalk.
Oh, you have to get a vote. You have a
You
first
Go
and a
ahead and
second.
walk the catwalk.
Yeah.
I have a first and second on this motion. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Let it be known that it has passed, so you can get those ordered. Okay. You wanna go back up? You're unfinished, or Jane?
Jane,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so, one of the things I'd like to talk about tonight is the holidays coming up. I know it's a little early, but we're all kind of starting to think ahead of time. And Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, both fall on a Sunday. And so the, handbook, employee handbook says when a holiday falls on a Sunday, that you get the following Monday off. Well, the following Monday is also a holiday. So I think a decision needs to be made for when we're gonna observe Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, whether it's gonna be the Friday before or the Tuesday after. It
So-
doesn't really make a big difference. The only concern that I have is that with New Year's Eve, if we move it to that Tuesday, then that kind of falls into the next year. If we do it the Friday before, then that's still in
On
the
the
same
calendar,
year.
yeah.
I would go for, my thought would be the Friday before, but you guys can do
Nope.
whichever, it's either gonna be Friday or Tuesday.
I would agree with Friday
Right.
too, like you said,
We
keep
agree with
everything
you.
in the calendar year.
Isn't that how we handled it last year? Because didn't both, they had the same situation last year?
Yeah,
I
fell on
think last
Saturday.
year,
No, it wasn't.
So it's 24,
It was on
25.
Saturday.
Sunday, Monday, they'd be off Monday anyway. So it would be Friday through
So
that.
it would be the same day, is what you're saying.
People have got Hey, can I throw a suggestion in there?
Okay.
So at the Christmas one, instead of having Friday off, have the 26th off, because people do a lot of stuff with their family on Christmas Day. That way, they could have Tuesday off to recover or whatever they need to do. And then for New Year's,
Friday.
have Friday off.
You'd only have a 2-day week. Can you live with a 2-day week?
It's Ken Russ and everybody else.
Yeah, I know, that's,
We're always on call anyway, so it doesn't matter for us. I've got someone on call and we're always on call.
I mean, what do you think
You'll
about
have your
that?
End of the year meeting that week too, somewhere in that short week.
Oh, yeah, we always have the end of the year meeting that week.
And we could do
But
it
then
the
she has
week
to
before,
prepare
too.
for that meeting.
Yeah, we can have the year-end meeting the week before, too.
Yeah,
I just kind of know how, if I was the one getting it, gonna have that Tuesday off after Christmas.
after the craziness.
That way you could have families on Christmas.
What
Eve,
feels
or Christmas
better
night,
for-
I don't have to be at work till, Wednesday. I don't know.
What's better for you?
What do you guys want?
Yeah, what do y'all
Yeah,
want?
department heads want.
Yeah, you guys
I
decide.
think Friday before makes the most sense.
On both days?
And you like that Friday?
It doesn't really affect me, because I usually have vacation days to use that time.
Okay.
anyway, so.
On both days?
That's good with me, but that's just.
And you want Friday before, or,
Fridays are fine for me too.
It doesn't really affect us much because we'll have.
We're gonna work on it.
9
Yeah.
days regardless, but, and you know, it's different day off. to make
Right.
up for that, so. I do like Jason's idea of being off the day after Christmas, though. After everybody's been over and they're up all night playing cards or whatever they're doing.
Until the kids have no life.
I know. Usually Christmas Day, we're crashing anyways.
It's another day.
Children who have been to grandparents, they got the sugar high.
I mean, it is, honestly, Jane, it's probably gonna be more, if you want Friday, and that is
What are you doing?
probably gonna suit everybody just fine, because like Russ said, they're on call. He's got vacation days, they change theirs out anyway. So do you like Friday best?
Probably be off.
I guess, I guess it doesn't, I don't have a preference.
Your
but-
office is the one that's gonna be affected by it most.
Christmas Eve, you won't get off.
So-
We're off.
Friday?
That's what you mentioned, that's what you mentioned in the beginning.
Yeah.
But if you wanna do Tuesday, Friday, and only have a 2-day week, then, it's totally.
It's gotta be the same for
This is
everybody.
100% on you. I know, but she's the one whose office will be on break. These guys are gonna have to float it. But,
They're gonna have to do-
yeah, this is closing the office. She's the only one who has to do that.
Yeah.
If I might say something, with thinking about it, the Friday probably would work better for you because you're gonna have to come in after New Year's. And you've gotta collect all the payments and get them processed before you close out the year. Because you'll start the new year, so you'll have to do all that. So to make it go out farther makes it a little bit harder. Because you wanna end it as much as you can, your year end in water and sewer for the payments and stuff.
So you think Fridays
So I
too,
think
or
Friday, I
Tuesday
mean,
and
if it were
Friday?
me, I would do Friday, but
Is that a payroll week?
I don't know.
Probably.
But that won't affect you really, because
Actually, I think
she has to
does
have it to the
because
bank
we-
on
Okay.
Wednesday,
Yeah, you have to have the bank
and
sooner.
then it appears on Friday.
Because we get paid on the 28th, I think, so I'll have to, that
Yeah.
Tuesday after, I'll have to submit, right, I'll have to submit on the 26th.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Because like at, Kylan, then they'll have to do the year end and close out their water and sewer. And they have to get all those payments processed first.
Friday.
I know.
Okay, and then we talked about the health department appointment, the budget workshop items, we have a few other ones we need to make some decisions on, and I'm just gonna highlight them, we can decide whether we wanna make a decision tonight or whether we wanna set up a special meeting, but we need to, talk about the playground equipment that we talked at the budget workshop. Zach is wanting to update the playground equipment to make it ADA compliant, next budget year. We talked about moving, or budgeting for $500,000 out of the, CDIP money in working through some of the budget funds and stuff and going through some of them with Kelly and stuff, there is money, 257,000, give or take, in the TIF A and C. So we could split that $500,000 up between the TIF A and C and the CDIT instead of taking it all out of the CDIT. And that's even if you guys want to do the playground next year. That was all kind of up in the works, but we need to really work on getting the budget finalized. So we need to make some decisions on whether the playground is gonna be a priority for next year, and if so, where you want me to budget that money from.
I think we should go with the suggestions we had tonight, the 243. Yeah, I'll seed it, and then the 257.
50-50.
And if we don't do it, either the money's still there. Either way,
Basically, the intent
and-
with that is that we'll apply for a DNR grant.
Yes.
Have
Correct.
that amount matched.
Yeah.
That is the hope.
But
There's
the
no
thing is,
guarantee.
I can use CDIT money for other things where I can't use the TIF
The TIF, right.
for other things.
So
Yep.
budget
Well,
250.
you can. You can.
In the TIF area though, but
In
it
the-
would make more sense to have a capital project
No,
using
you
TIF.
can not anything, because the town's owed like $1 million from TIF.
What'd you say?
The town is owed like $1 million that we spent on the trails that were spent.
Oh,
Town
reimbursement
general
of the general fund.
So you go to repay the town general fund with the TIF money, and then you can spend it on different people.
Well, then that all has to be collected back to show that.
Yeah,
But this time, do
Yeah, the town is owed money from the TIF.
This is a side conversation.
Any money spent on the trails gets paid back from TIF. So you can actually spend TIF on it.
But the thing of it is too, I know you're saying the general, but then if you would do it half and half, since that is in the TIF district, and we don't have any other capital project for 24, that would
Oh, I'm
help
saying, yeah,
showing the money
Yeah,
that
it
we
is,
are
it is part of
spending
our
that bond
economic
money.
development plan. It is part of our economic development plan for the TIF. So you can spend it directly out of TIF on there also.
So is that a go to budget 250,000 in CDIT and 250,000 in TIF A and C?
Do we need a motion for that?
I don't think we need.
Or you think it's
I
okay?
don't think we need
You
it.
approve your budget.
Yeah,
Well, we
Okay.
approved it.
Okay.
It's just mainly making
We're just
Give your
decisions.
instructions right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
give me instructions so I can finalize everything.
Yes, please.
Because she's reducing
Right.
this year.
Right. We went over the state board of accounts, whether we could merge those funds all into one account for the mowing, and they said no to that, that we have to keep the funds separate for each department. The other thing is the CCB money, we talked about whether we'd be able to use that for replacing the roof on the administration building for the water department, and they said no to that either. That the water is a kind of a separate entity, and that money can only be used for the community center and also the town hall. So we will not be able to use those funds for that either.
Jane, if I could interject, while we're on the subject, have you gotten any more information on the roof? Like, as far as insurance and?
Yes, so the roof came back, and I sent that out to you, that it was approved. We're gonna be out the deductible only for the roof. $2,500 is our deductible.
Good.
And so the rest of it is gonna be covered by insurance. Hettinger is gonna do the work for replacing the roof. And they're gonna pay half of it up front, and then they're going to pay the other half when the job is complete. And that is just to ensure that we actually use the money to complete the job. So that's why they're splitting the payment. They wanna make sure that the job actually, the roof does get
Right,
replaced
finished.
with the money. So they pay half of it up front and half of it when it's complete, minus the $2,500
You get any
deductible.
water over there?
In the garage area, you know how that garage is, the upper part there, it's got like I'm not sure what it is up there, but, you can see it kind of leaks through that, and it kind of filters through it. But it's not leaving any stains
Oh, that's good.
because of whatever type of material that is. I'm not sure what material it is.
Anticipating I'm running to the restroom.
when they start this? Do they have a start date for it?
No, I did, once I got the approval, I did reach out to Henninger, and they're gonna see when they, give me a day when they can come.
What kind of warranty are they gonna have on that? Because, I don't know, Kevin, I've been around for 25 years, you've been around for that long, this roof has been a problem. Every time anybody touches that roof, it starts leaking.
Yeah, well, actually.
Kelly knows too, I mean, they get up there and try, they come up and say everything's fixed, and the next time, 2 rains later, water's pouring in the clerk treasurer's office, and then they get up there and fix that, and then it suddenly be leaking over on this side, and they get up there and fix that, and, I mean, it was an ongoing thing for probably 5 or 6 years there, that roof was leaking.
And it may be a negligible amount, but I should be able to use some cume building funds for that roof down there. It is an admin building, so typically, I try to use about 10% of like MVH, LRS funds for my thing, so I think I should be able to use a little bit of cume building money for that.
Well, not out of the Cume Cap building, the State Board of Accounts.
Well, I think you guys specified it as water department, and it's an admin building. We do water business, other sewer business, and roads and streets, so I think we should be able to use some of that.
I mean, I did let them know that it was an administration building for the water
still said
department, and they still
It's
said
not,
no.
it's not part of the IC code if you actually read it.
And only water and sewer, now the streets, that throws a twist in there too, some degree.
Say that again?
The part that if you're doing street business in there, that might be something that you might want to.
Yeah, I do street business.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
that would be municipal service.
I mean, like I said, it may be maybe not even worth arguing about, but still, I'll take any little bit that I can get.
Can you mention them, call them back and let them know that we use a third of the time for roads?
They might do like 10%, they'll look like your NVH budget of what it overall budget versus your water and sewer. You know how, Russ, when you buy a product or something and you split it,
Right.
I mean, they may be able to do a percentage of it, but
Yeah, all the street businesses run out of that office.
Exactly right.
Okay, making myself a note. Okay, one of the other things that we need to discuss is the family insurance. I did send out the packet from Danita that she provided. So what her, the numbers she put together, of course, I need to give the disclaimer that these are only estimated numbers. They are only, an estimate of what the cost could be. But it looks like these numbers are based on the census that she did back in June for those who are interested in it and their families. These are not age-based quotes. These are what they call composite quotes, so it's for, employee and family. They're just set rates, so that is a little different than what we're currently at. And it tells you the potential, so the middle column is including the spouse and the dependents, and the last column would be if you guys chose to do the spousal carve out. So it just gives you an idea of what the potential is. So I need to work on budgeting for the family insurance in the budget. So I need a couple guidelines on how you want me to do that. Do you want me to budget per the most expensive, which is everything included, spouse? That would be the middle column. That would be kind of a worst case scenario if everyone's spouses was on it, everyone's, that has children, their children are on it. Do you want me to budget that way, so we budget more money in those accounts? Or do you want me to budget according to the spousal carve out?
I think budget for the most amount,
Me too.
but also, that we wouldn't be having the spouse only available if she did not have insurance through her work. Now, my other question is, can we do that with a student, anybody over 18? You know, if I got a 19-year-old at home,
They have to carry insurance until 26 years old.
no matter if they got a job at
Yes.
some place and they're offered insurance,
Yeah, can you not
Yes.
do that?
I don't know about that.
now,
That's under the Affordable Care Act, which I don't know about that.
I asked Anita, she probably can help you on that.
can you look at
He
that?
could tell you right offhand. I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have,
Two that better insurance.
okay, that's my thoughts. I think we need to, you know, look at this as the worst case, and also I think we might have to also look at how much the employees are paying. You know, where we have a certain fee if it's just individual, a percent, and if I got bringing in my whole family, a different percent versus just husband and wife, you know, as percentages. Because this is quite a bit dollars a month, but I think it's something we gotta have. And to me, it's more important to have this than a town manager where I could lose 5 or 6 people because of our ages of our people,
Yeah.
young,
So
want to
budget
have
as much as
families
you
and
can.
stuff like that.
So, with that being said, do you want me to leave the town manager in the budget too, along with this worst case scenario? Because that's really gonna affect the bottom line in the budget. You know, if I budget worst case scenario for all of these employees,
I
I
think,
mean, I don't care to do it, but we're probably gonna be pulling from
Mhm.
our resources at that point. You know, we're not gonna be, we're not gonna be a balanced budget. We're gonna have to pull from our resources if we're budgeting for worst case scenario and also for town manager too. We're not gonna, we're gonna exceed what our,
so what we would have to do is pull from our assets.
so you would have to pull from our assets. So you want me to go ahead and budget for both and then we'll just have to pull from our assets to fund it?
I think that'd be the way to look at it right now. If we decide that we're not gonna do a town manager, as if we decide to go with the family insurance, then the town manager is still on the agenda. But if we go the full insurance with everybody, we can bring it back in, you know, not use the money for the town manager.
Okay, so I'll work then on getting the middle row, the worst case scenario, budgeted into each department based on which employees are on this list.
Yep.
So say for instance, my department, I'm gonna choose me along with my 3 in the worst case scenario and add that into my budget line item.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll work on that and then I'll send out that final number where we're at on what the revenue is and then what the bottom line is.
Keep in mind that what we're looking at here is not age-based.
It is not age-based.
And so therefore, we will not have to keep track of how many kids each person has and what their ages are each month, whether we gotta change the insurance.
Yeah.
So do you want me to also budget for their percentage of what they're paying? Oh, that'll come out of their income,
I think that's something that we're going to discuss, what we want to pursue
Right.
on that. I think right now, just leave it
no.
the flat,
What the current,
yeah.
what the current rate is. Any other,
Because we're all in this unknown situation.
right,
Yeah.
any other discussion on that? Okay, so.
You guys got any questions?
Doesn't really affect me. I mean, if we had 5 main family insurance, I'll go with Caleb probably.
Mhm.
Okay. You guys?
I don't know if that's any more of our department at this time.
Yeah, but it could,
Yeah, it's a hospital model, yes.
you know. Would that help you possibly with, you know, bringing some people in, working for Russ or Zach or you guys? It
wouldn't
might,
hurt. It wouldn't hurt.
so. run with it.
Okay, I'll work on getting all those numbers then put into the budget. Also in your packet, I have some resolutions that I need you guys to look at. One is to reduce some of these funds. This is money that has not been spent in the current budget, and by reducing it, we keep that money in the budget for next year. So,
We will find it.
Shuffles will fit.
is it not in there?
Just wait. We'll figure it out.
I know, that's too many papers.
It's okay. That's that.
I know I saw it earlier, but that might have been on Kelly, the table we were working on over there, where I saw it. I don't have it here.
All right, here, just share these originals here. Pass one down, further down.
These are originals, people.
Yeah.
Original.
These are original.
So, those are just the funds that we had went through, Kelly and I had went through together, and that is the money that is in the funds that we have not used, and so we're wanting to reduce that amount of this year's budget, those amounts, so that way we can put it into next year's budget for the same amount. So we will need motions, and votes on that since it is a resolution.
For each one or for just the total?
Just the total, because the
Make a
resolution
motion.
number is at the top,
Okay.
so.
Oh, yes, I see, okay.
I'll make a motion to,
Quick question, this basically is like discretionary funds, right? This isn't like our actual budgets?
No, it's not your actual budgets, it's,
I just wanna make sure we're on the same page.
yeah. No,
It's all the special funds.
it's all the special funds, and it's just the money that didn't get used, so that way we can put it, they can use it next year.
make a motion to approve resolution 2023-04 to move funds, to reduce funds by $882,000 to be used for next year.
I have a first. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a first and second. All those in favor, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Let it be known that passes.
The other resolution I have is to, move money, I'm gonna hold this one real quick, Jason. We'd like to move money from the rainy day to the redevelopment commission, because that is getting a little bit low in funds, and you know, we have to pay out, outside services out of that money. By moving $5,000 into that, that'll fund that, those invoices for the next couple years. The other thing we'd like to do is move, money from the rainy day, or from the general to the rainy day fund in the amount of $65,000. We can do that, up to 10% of the current budget that's not, being spent. So we are at 65,000, will put us at that 10%, rate, so we can move money from the general fund into the rainy day fund, also for that.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2023-03, moving $5,000 from rainy day to redevelopment commission, and moving $65,000 from general to rainy day with a total amount of $70,000.
I have a first. Do I have a second on this?
I'll second.
I have a first and second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Let it be known that passes.
No, that's it. Show me pass down.
I think that's all I have.
Ready for your vouchers?
For the vouchers, yep. I have vouchers general fund in the amount of $835,400.46.
Make a motion to approve the general voucher in the amount of $835,400.46.
Second it.
Have a first and second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those disapprove, say nay. No, and it passes.
I
Next.
have payroll vouchers in the amount of $82,729.40.
Make a motion to approve the payroll voucher in the amount of $82,729.40.
I'll second it.
Have a first and second for the payroll voucher. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Let be known it passes.
I have wastewater vouchers in the amount of $163,235.76.
Make a motion to approve the wastewater voucher in the amount of $163,235.76.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a first and second for the water voucher. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Let it be known it has passed. You don't sign this?
Okay.
You don't.
I know I don't. Pass them over.
I know, but you grab the
I
pen.
know. That's because I'm efficient.
Wasteful of energy.
I also have a resolution for the redevelopment commission following this meeting, also to reduce funds there.
Okay.
Have you guys heard any more on that, fire facility?
Not a
No,
word.
I have not. I
heard
forgot the,
It's not in stone or anything, but I heard that it is gonna go in Christine.
Oh.
That, it'll be next to the EMA building because it just makes more sense for it to be there. But that's not in stone, so. But I just heard that through the grapevine.
I really didn't want the eyesore, I don't think. All the pictures I've seen, especially if you go put a trail down there.
I remember that coming up sometime ago, and I can't find it in my ordinance book, that Mike.
He said she found it online and showed it to
We brought it up, I'm gonna say.
She may have, well,
Yeah. 'cause I
Yeah,
was
we
thinking
did.
We were gonna look into
I'm
it.
sure, I think it's posted on the web.
Huh?
I mean, I'm sure it is.
I know.
Yeah, just shoot me an email.
She may have found it online, but see, the town's website's gone through 5 or 6 different variations. Maybe an old, I'm pretty sure that now it's just a citation.
Kevin, is that something that if you could provide with one of our department heads, we could actually get the ordinances updated on the town's website? Or could you do
I
it?
think Rankin Kelly was switching over from region 3 to 15, on getting that thing compiled. Because I wasn't. And then, after John Bowen was updating them.
That's pretty tough to get this thing.
But no, I think that was done years ago, actually. I remember that. I remember coming up before, because you said we used to have cages down there. With us.
Absolutely, yeah, we had fencing.
But that took years.
Oh, that's-
I'm not even sure. I almost,
Well, when we built the sewer plant, it was
so yes, it's been that long, now, 20 years. I'm pretty sure.
I was gonna say, because Spencer County Humane Society took over, and then it takes a village. Almost my whole career in this town, it's been not with you.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a credit card for that. That's right.
Yeah, there you go, I can drive around.
Who did I hear that from? Where somebody was picking up roadkill and put it in the freezer and feeding it to the, was that you telling me about that, those cats? Okay.
I've got all your signatures here.
No, that's not true.
Oh, it's her.
What? in-
Talk to James after.
Yeah, you're good.
About,
Did you get 2 copies of the ordinance down there? Yep. Got all your vouchers?
okay, we'll motion to adjourn, and then we'll do redevelopment commission.
Make a motion to adjourn?
So I have a first and second to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Let it be known it passes.
7:34 p.m.
Zach, when did that happen?
Last 3 weeks.
So was it just a small little, or did you have the whole fam?
Yeah, we did development this summer.
Huh?
Seth's not here to call the meeting to hold.
Well, congrats.
Hey,
Is
see
she
ya.
a teacher? Is she a teacher? Where does she teach, at the high school? Awesome. Terrific. Awesome. Well, congratulations. And anything else
I'm
with
gonna call the
the,
redevelopment commission meeting to order.
Roll call.
Go ahead.
oh,
Russ,
Here.
Tricia Ball.
here,
Kevin Burke.
here.
Brian Warren.
Here.
what's that opioid thing again?
First up, I have the minutes from the June 12th redevelopment commission meeting. That was the last meeting that we had, so I need a motion to approve the minutes from the June 12th meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the June 12th meeting as written.
Second it.
Have a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So up for the redevelopment commission is a resolution, 2023-01, and it is to reduce the TIP A&C budget by $200,000. And that just allows us to be able to use that money again next year, since it's not been earmarked for anything this year. So we're gonna just reduce the TIP A&C budget by $200,000.
And then what was the name of that resolution?
Resolution 2023-01.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I'll make a motion for that.
Oh, I have to, okay. I make a motion that we approve resolution 2023-01 for the amount of $200,000.
I second that.
Have a first and second on the floor, any questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Motion to adjourn, anybody?
I make a motion to adjourn.
And I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We like those kind of meetings.
Seconded it, Brian?
Brian,
No, he made the motion.
I seconded it. Mhm.
Answer your question, we've been preoccupied, so.
Have you?
Thanks for coming, Kevin.
Yeah.
See you, Russ.
I know.
We're done now.
Oh, yeah. You got a whole bunch of stuff, yeah. So it's still in process. Awesome. Yeah. But he's gonna stay in the house. And you're gonna stay in your house, or you're gonna look at buildings on that property?
Right at the very end of, when you're going down Melvin's house, before Casper, it's the last house before you get there.
Oh,
The Rice property?
oh, that's good. Good.
Oh, the right, it's out there across the road. It's up the woods, you can't see that.
Good. So we're married, we're coaching,
This lady,
we're trying to figure out a playground, which, and
she started
we're
building.
gonna buy that and honeymoon in December.
She was gonna get married.
You're only a little busy.
She's crazy. Oh, she's crazy.
The what?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm excited about that. It could be yesterday, as far as I'm concerned, because I want to see your.
And yeah, and she
I
showed up
think,
and said, I never,
you know,
this is the first time I
Jacob
ever heard about it.
Winkler
I had like 3
is
certified
a
letters
realtor,
received
and
where
he's
she had
teaching
signed
me
it.
everything, and I say,
It's like,
you know
is
what
that
is
not
so
your signature?
cool?
Well, yeah,
is
but I
when
never seen it before.
You get to grow up with your kids.
How the hell did you
And
sign
then
it?
they get to be your teachers. So when you have kids, it'll be like, my baby